From ghosts to demons to pillars with the souls of humans trapped inside of them, get bundled up and get ready to get spooky as we cover part 2 of the top 10 mysterious Japanese creepypastas you should fear. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have the slit-mouthed woman. This is said to be one of the most popular Japanese urban legends and is surrounding what at first would seem like an ordinary old woman. She has a sort of mask on her face, but nothing really unusual. She usually appears before those walking at night alone, and she will ask, "Am I beautiful?" If you answer no, you'll be killed with a pair of scissors that she carries. If you answer yes, she will take her mask off to reveal her creepy smile that has been slit from ear to ear. "How about now?" she will ask. If you say no, she will kill you. If you say yes, she will cut an identical smile on you. Legend goes that there is a way to confuse her for long enough that you might be able to escape. That is by saying something along the lines of, "You're average," or meh. In our number 9 spot today, we have the Red Cape. The tale of the Red Cape starts out when someone is going to the washroom. It is said that the spirit of Red Cape waits in the stalls of specifically the ladies' washroom, usually the last one in the line. Once seated, the spirit's voice will ask, "Do you want red paper or blue?" If you say red, you will suffer a violent death. If you say blue, you will lose all the air in your body and then die. If you try to avoid the question by answering white paper, a pair of ghostly hands will appear, sometimes right out of the toilet, and they will drag you down to the underworld. The best way to avoid Red Cape and any of these terrible fates is to politely refuse any single thing he may offer you. Just don't engage with a demon. I think that's pretty sound advice overall. In our number 8 spot today, we have Teke Teke. This legend starts off with a girl who was apparently cut in half by a train. This is why this vengeful spirit now appears with no lower body and instead travels on either her hands or her elbows, dragging her upper torso and making a scratching sound. If she encounters a person at night, which is when she is out lurking around, she will chase them down and cut them in half to mimic her own death. She is out for blood and is usually found around train stations. It is said that the only way to escape her is to outrun her, but she is surprisingly quick, so good luck. In our number 7 spot today, we have Tomino's Hell. Tomino's Hell is actually a poem, but there are many legends surrounding it. Legend goes that the poem actually places a curse on whoever reads it, and the curse can either bring misfortune or even death. The poem is said to be exceptionally dark, and there apparently is a ton of disturbing symbolism in it. It is believed that in the poem, Tomino has either committed a terrible crime and is now suffering in the 7 circles of hell, or the poem is actually supposed to be a symbolic representation of the feeling of survivor's guilt, which is also just terrible. At the end of the day, this poem might just be one to stay away from. In our number 6 spot today, we have the Noh Mask. These are a mask that is traditionally used in theater, and while I could make a whole list on their history in that sense, we are here to talk about spooky urban legends, and when it comes to these masks, well, they are considered to be supernatural in nature. A Noh Mask represents both a smiling and sad face depending on your perspective. When kept in the house, these masks are said to draw negative energy from the owner. Okay, that's not the worst thing in the world. That actually sounds kind of nice. Well, that is until the mask just keeps consuming all of the energy. So much so until the mask consumes the owner completely. This leaves the owner and their soul being trapped in a different dimension that is said to be the dimension of pain. In our number 5 spot today, we have the taxi driver. So this is a legend that if you're a taxi driver, you might want to tune into. Legend goes that a person who suddenly appears and hails a taxi might end up being something sinister. Usually, if the driver pulls over for this mysterious person, they will get in and request a ride to somewhere the driver hasn't heard of before. But of course, this passenger offers reassurance and directions. From there, once the driver agrees, the journey will take some time, with the driver getting further and further from the town or city that they started off in. Eventually, the driver will likely turn around to peek at this passenger, and it's then that the driver will realize that they've disappeared. Once the driver turns back around to look at the road, he'll realize that they're headed straight off of a cliff. Yeah, it's a dark one, and I'm not entirely sure what the moral of this one is. Careful who you pick up in your taxi. In our number 4 spot today, we have the human pillar. This is a legend that is related to these pillars that can be found in Japan. The story goes that these pillars are human pillars, meaning that they have humans trapped inside of them. The reason being is because it was believed that pillars with humans trapped inside of them would bless the construction of the building and hold it firm. Definitely an interesting thought, but this turned out to be far from the truth. Now, it is said that places built with these pillars are being haunted by the souls that are trapped inside, rather than blessed. Honestly, I don't really blame them either. If somebody put me in a pillar, I'd probably haunt the building too. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Okiku Doll. So this is a doll that is said to hold the spirit of a young girl. Apparently, it was originally bought as a gift for this girl by her brother, but now the doll resides in a temple where it has been since 1938. This is obviously because of the whole spirit and the doll thing, and it is said that anyone else who tries to own the doll would suffer some serious consequences at her hands. While the doll is and has been in a safe spot for quite some time now, it is said that the hair of the doll continues to grow even after being cut. So don't let the spirit fool you. Just because there hasn't been any strange happenings surrounding it lately doesn't mean she's not lurking around waiting for someone to try and take her doll. In our number 2 spot today, we have Gozu. This is an urban legend that is said to have been discovered at the same time as some Japanese literature that dates all the way back to the 17th century. It is said that this literature that was found had some sort of curse on it, where those who read or narrated the story would be sent into a catatonic state. While in this state, their mind would be trapped inside of another dimension. They would stay here for a short time until they would end up passing away a little while later. In our number 1 spot today, we have the Kleenex commercial. This is an urban legend that is actually surrounding this really weird and creepy Kleenex commercial that aired in the 80s. The commercial itself is really weird as it depicts some sort of ogre child thing being sung to by a woman who is acting very strange, and the song she is singing is also perfectly fit for a horror movie. The ad was quickly pulled from the air as it had people calling in explaining that they were creeped out by it, but of course the internet took hold of it beforehand. So that creepy looking child I mentioned before, well, many people believed that it resembles an Oni demon. There are of course major consequences for looking at a demon, which is exactly what this urban legend surrounds. Basically, legend goes that the crew who worked on this commercial production ended up all passing away after working on this commercial, all in mysterious ways, which people of course believe is due to the demon on set. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. Let me know what you thought of these urban legends. Have you heard any of them before? Are you spooked? Are you too scared to go to sleep now? I want to hear all of your thoughts and feelings below, and who knows, maybe we'll do a part 3. Let me know. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.